Hey guys, so I'm here to fill you in on how I feel about the Black Lives Matter movement. So I am quite familiar with this. Most of the YouTubers that I watch have talked about this to some extent. I also have friends on Facebook who post quite a bit about it. So I'm definitely not unfamiliar with this movement. And I'm just gonna explain to you why I don't agree with it at all. And I think that it's a racist movement in and of itself. And how it's not good, it's violent, it's not solving anything. So yeah, I'm just going to dive right into it. So first of all, it's insanely racist. They don't care about anyone but Black lives. And I get that it could be argued, blacks are the ones like suffering and whites don't need people to fight for them or whatever, but I don't think you solve racism with more racism. If we want to get rid of racism, we have to eliminate treating people differently because of their race. So that goes for treating them better or worse because of their race. I don't think, I've always been under the kind of belief that you shouldn't treat anyone any differently, bad or good, for any part of them that isn't their actual personality, their actual morals. So their race, religion, sexual orientation, all that stuff, that doesn't really matter a whole lot. It does define them. It is them as a person, like it's part of their characteristics, but it doesn't define if they're a bad or good person or not. What I care about is like your empathy for others, all that kind of stuff, the actual meat and bones of the person, and not what's on the outside, not who they like to be with and all that stuff. So anyway, I got a little off track there, but I'm just, it bothers me that we're trying, or that these people are trying to say, well, we've been oppressed for years, hundreds of years or whatever, so we're allowed to just treat white people like shit. And the same goes for feminists. They say, women were treated like property for years, so men kind of deserve it now. But that's not how you get rid of problems. That's not how you fight. And I don't believe that there are really any problems with equality in the Western world. But even if there were, this stuff wouldn't solve it. This is just more racism and sexism and isms. Real racism and sexism, not the fake stuff that social justice warriors like to spew. So yeah, that's the first thing. They're incredibly racist. They're completely radical, and it's almost like a bunch of the radical feminists just came over and just joined this crew, like, yeah, let's do this. Like, it's insane. It's so radical. I've heard stories about them going into like libraries at like a college or a university, I can't remember what it was, and they went into the library where students were studying for their exams or their tests, and they just started like shouting and screaming about Black Lives Matter. And then if you didn't join in, they would start harassing you physically and mentally, or verbally, or however you want to say it. Yeah, they harassing white people because they didn't want to join their cult. And I've heard other stories, like the shooting in Orlando, the one where like 50 people from the LGBT community were like killed. And they had like kind of a vigil for them. And someone from Black Lives Matter actually hijacked that and made it about black people. Like, how is this a group that anyone wants to stand with? And then the other, there was a gay pride parade in my own country, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. There was a pride parade, and Black Lives Matter completely hijacked it and made them stop. How is this something that we want? They're like meddling in everyone else's affairs. They're getting their fingers in everywhere. I thought there was something else, but that's enough. There shouldn't have to be any more evidence for anyone to see that this is not a group that we want. They're violent. There was another one. I can't remember where this was. I think it might be like in New York City or something like that, like someplace like that, where they're just shouting about like killing police. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but yeah, they were just shouting about killing police. And there was another one where they were talking about pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon. Like, that's awful. And there was another instance where, so they've been burning buildings, which is bad enough, but they tried to burn a news just someone like reporting, like a news reporter. They tried to burn them like alive. Like, this is insane. And people are still getting behind this, and they're like, oh, well, no one was saying all lives matter until Black Lives Matter. Well, we have to say all lives matter now, because Black Lives Matter clearly thinks that only Black Lives matter. They're not fighting for anyone else. They're fighting for Black lives, and they don't care. They don't care about anyone else. If you don't stand with them, you deserve to die, basically. So yeah, they're violent. I already kind of covered that. Destructive. They've been like destroying public property, burning things, just destroying things in general. And again, they only care about black lives. They don't care about anyone else. They think that they're the most oppressed people, and they'll fight tooth and nail to keep that image in people's heads. And they they sweep everything else under the rug. Oh, don't mind us destroying a city or trying to kill people or claiming that all cops should die. And then that's what made this Blue Lives Matter reaction group come up, because like they're basically claiming that all cops should die because a few cops killed unarmed black people. And that's awful, okay? I understand that. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with people being killed who don't deserve to be killed, but we can't fight violence with violence. And I think they blow the violence up a little bit, because I don't think as many people, innocent people, die as they would like to think. A lot of it is stuff that maybe the person made a little bit of a violent gesture or something. And a lot of it is awful cops, and I understand that, and they should be made to have justice. They should. I don't disagree with that. If you are a cop and you abused your power and you killed someone without any warrant to, you should be punished. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with justice. What I disagree with is this vigilante type justice. And I'm gonna do another video on vigilante justice by itself, because that's another thing that I have a lot of opinions on, because I don't like vigilante justice at all, and I find it's becoming a big thing. recently that people, well, it's not really a recent thing, but it is a big thing, and you'd think it would be cleared up by now. Like, in the modern world, you'd think that people would realize the justice system is here for a reason, and then I should report crimes and not carry it out myself. Anyway, that's for another video, but I just needed to talk about that. Anyway, so that's kind of all I had to say about it. It just bothers me a lot that people are being like this. Like, you'd think that they would they would see how they're being, but maybe they do see how they're being and they just don't care. I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of all I have to say about it. Other than that, it's just like complete bewilderment. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so awful. So, yeah. I will talk to you guys in the next video. And, yeah, talk to you guys next time.